Morning, everybody. Welcome to Tableau Public Featured Author Introduction on VizConnect. I'm excited to present a number of great authors here that have just been featured on Tableau Public. So it's my great honor to start the. So Andrew Shuri and I go a bit back. She only has 10 visits on her public profile, but they're so exceptional to me. I love her use of color and her what she visited about. She visited about what she's passionate about, and she likes to have fun with her visits, but also create impactful visits as well. She works a lot with my friend Brian Moore, and it's great to see her involvement with the community and her growth as a data visualizer. So I'm so honored to present her and glad that she is part of this cohort. So please, Andrew Shuri, explain a bit about your journey and a little bit about what you expect to do in the future.
So that introduction, Adam. Hello, everyone. My name is Anjushri, and I'm based out of Toronto, Canada. I work for a firm called Altus Group as a senior BI analyst who are into real estate and construction, that particular sector. So my Tableau journey actually began a year ago when I started working for this current firm of mine. And once the pandemic hit, I kind of figured out there's something called as Tableau Public, and there's a Twitter community data fam, which is very active. So I open up my Twitter account and public profile and started off this April. The kind of I have more of a personal projects like Adam mentioned. That's just because I kind of like to whiz about topic that I love, either or topics that interest me a lot would be kind of on the social front, or about topics that I wasn't aware of and want to kind of do analysis and share with others as well. One such example was my leprosy whiz, which it was kind of shocking for me that leprosy was declared leprosy-free world, but wherein India still suffers a lot. So that's the reason I whiz a lot for Iron Quest and Viz for Social Good, because they let you choose your own topic. It's just a theme given. And you would see kind of different charts in my Tableau journey. That's just because I kind of like challenging myself, doing a different chart and going more towards complex charts every time I viz. I get a lot of inspiration from the data fam, and Brian has been my mentor, and it's been a real great journey with him. I see my design perspective or other things been really on the great curve once has been my mentor. So I would like to give a shout out to him. And yeah, it just feels so good to be a part of this support network where everyone's inspiring you and providing you the encouragement. That's what keeps me going on to put up more work out there constantly. And it's always good to know that others are inspired by you as well. And that's also through the community that you get to know. It's very priceless for me, that kind of feeling. So yes, I would suggest everyone to kind of who likes data visualization or data art to just get out there in the community, be a part of it, watch webinars or talks, just DM and say hi if you like someone's work. You would be kind of very surprised how welcoming they all are. So yes, that's a bit about my learning, my Tableau journey, and the introduction. So I'm really very honored to be a Tableau featured author and to be able to speak today here on VizConnect. Over to you, Adam.
Okay, thank you, Andrew. I think one thing I would like to hear from you is what's one tip you would have for somebody just coming into the community, and what should they do right away that would have helped you if you knew that right up front?
Okay. Yes, just I would say viz about things that you love. There is a constant I don't know, over inspiration going on the community. But don't let that get onto your head. Just start whizzing about the topics that you love. It might not be the same thing as being perfect with the bar charts or the line charts. It can be data art as well, because I started out doing that way, and it's not something that you do at work, but it's still super fun to kind of explore different horizons, because my learning curve on the design front has been really great. Once I joined the community, I didn't know I could do so many great things in Tableau and go all the radial way. That's something that I'm working on a lot. So yes, I would just say, just explore all different kinds, whether it's right or wrong, and just have fun.
Thank you so much, Anju. It was great to hear that. And I understand how it could be very intimidating for new people coming in, but it's fun that you can get a lot of inspiration from those same people as well. And you're living proof of that. So it's great to see that. Say about Abdulaziz is that he's newer to the community. He's part of the LinkedIn community, and he also visits a lot on Makeover Monday and Workout Wednesday. And it's great to see newer people that show up on my feed and people I could follow and support. And that's what Tableau Public Featured Authors does. So with further ado, please explain your journey a little bit, Abdulaziz, and I hope the technical difficulties are cleared up now.
I hope so too. So hello everyone, thank you for having me today. And I'm so excited and happy to see everyone. As Adam introduced me, that I'm new to the community. That's absolutely true. My name is Abdulaziz, and I am a BI consultant based in Cairo. I work for a Tableau partner company here in Egypt, and actually I started this journey 3 years ago. After my graduation, I have no idea what is Tableau and what is SQL and business intelligence. I have graduated from communication engineering, so I have no friends in this community. I have no one to introduce to me any of these terms. So one day, one of my friends introduced me to 3 words: SQL, Tableau, and BI. So I started digging into more, and I find myself into this community. They are supportive, and they willing to help. I learned a lot from everyone, literally from everyone, from anyone that maybe he's starting his journey a month ago. I can learn a new thing every day from he's new, or like he's a senior, have more 5 or 10 years experience in this field. When they connected me to send this bio introduction about myself, actually I knew it 2 days after they announced. I have no idea I was selected. I was checking one of these posts in LinkedIn, so I opened the link, and I was, whoa, this is me. Oh my God, this chose me. This was like a wow moment for me, and I was yelling at everyone at home. Thank you everyone for having me today, and I am so happy to be among this rockstar. Back to you, Adam.
Thank you so much for that introduction. One thing I would like to ask, though, is that when you're more focused on the LinkedIn community. So if you could provide a little bit insight as to why LinkedIn has been helpful for you, because a lot of us are on the Twitter community, but some of us are also on the LinkedIn community, but you primarily use LinkedIn. So I'll be interested to get your perspective on how helpful LinkedIn is for you.
Personally, I was like, I'm not a Twitter person, so I don't use it much often. So I was using LinkedIn at the beginning usually, so that's how it started, and I kept going. But maybe at the beginning of this year, I started to create a Twitter account to have with you guys.
Thank you so much. It was great to hear from you and meet you as well. Next up, we have, thank you. Next up, we have Ashwin. He is a community member that's focused on a lot of different designs. I think, yes, if I got it right, basically IronViz and IronQuest are his passion projects, and he's Viz on a lot of other things as well. So I'm excited to hear from him because this is the first opportunity I have to meet him too. So Ashwin, if you could explain a little bit about your journey, we would love to hear that.
Thank you, Adam, and thank you everyone for having me here tonight. It's been an honor to have been selected as a public featured author. So I work at Citibank, and my role is I'm also known as the Tableau guy because no one else in my team knows Tableau, and I'm really lucky because of that. So whatever, if I just build a basic bar chart, they're like, "Wow, that's so amazing, great work!" So I get a lot of appreciation for just doing the basic thing. So yeah, that's a plus. And so I started using Tableau in 2014. It was part of my coursework at the University of Arizona. So at that time, like the first time I used Tableau, it was like I was almost going to break my computer, break my laptop. So it was like new to me, and it was just like I think got stuck at doing a lot of things. But I'd also say that Tableau has been like it's one of the easiest software for any person to pick up. So I think you just plug in your Excel sheet or something, and then you can get bar charts and so many different kinds of visualizations. And it's evolved a lot, I think, over the last few years. And seeing some of the work from the other authors in Tableau Public and the community, it's just like amazing. They're like several levels above me. It's like the things that you can do in Tableau, like I saw a whiz about like the New York, a diagram of the New York from I think Alex Parlama. It's just like just the work that's on Tableau Public. It's just like one day, maybe like 15, 20 years from now, I can go to that level probably with a lot of work. So I really enjoy using Tableau for like different experimenting with different styles, colors, and whizzing on topics that I enjoy. So like sports, history, and exploring other things. So I think the first Iron Viz I entered was last year. It was the second feeder, and the theme for that was music. So I spent like 3 to 4 weeks preparing, collecting data, building out things, and working on the design. And by the end of it, when I was going to submit my Viz, I was like, okay, this is going to be a top 10 Viz. And then a couple of weeks later, I see the blog post with all the other designs and the dashboards done by the other authors, and they're like about close to 100, I think. And I just saw those verses that I was like, oh, okay, top 20, top 50, and then top 100. Anything is good enough. So it's just like the work that I saw out there is really just outstanding work. So I've been happy to learn from the community, from the forums, and just looking at all the different whizzes by all the authors out there. It's just like, it's been an amazing experience for me. And I think everyone should use Tableau, and it's like it's a way of art also. And yeah, I enjoy using Tableau.
Thank you so much, Ashwin. So next up, we have CJ Mace. He's he works a lot in the sports Viz Sunday community. So it's great to have some representation out there. And he has a very nice profile, and he's very active in the community. So it's very nice to finally meet CJ and get a little bit about his journey.
Adam. Normally people don't talk to me so nicely. Yeah, so I use Tableau at work for the past year and a half. I work at Lloyds Banking Group in London. So it's mainly looking at what our customers do and building out a journey for them so we can enrich products and really meet the requirements of what customers need. It's predominantly using SQL, as in the Tableau is obviously the front end that we kind of provide to our stakeholders. And it kind of spurred me on to go on to Tableau Public in March when the pandemic kind of started really escalating. It gave me a lot of spare time, and I found myself loving it more and more. and it's the opportunity to play around with different data sets. So I'm sure some of you know that I love visualizing sports. For some, it might be the worst thing ever, but to me, it's super exciting. I find it really interesting and easy to understand the data sets themselves. And it's also made me enjoy sports to watch a little bit more, and also American sports, get into that a lot more as well. But yeah, it's fantastic to be recognized as part of the community, and alongside so many other great people. So yeah, started that in March, and really started off just using other people's templates and blogs. So it was kind of fraudulent, really, how you start, and then you slowly build your way up to something that's really your own, and you start to create your own style off the back of it. So a lot of my vizzes are now just radial charts of some variation with black backgrounds, and people might think, what are you doing? But I enjoy them, and really looking at the way you can translate data into a form of art almost. So yeah, in that respect, it beats building dashboards with financial data at work.
It's great to hear. So your perspective in the community and public visiting is visiting something that you wouldn't do at work. So visiting something that's fun and something that you love and something that pushes yourself. Could you explain a little bit about that and the motivation behind that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's the main thing with Tableau Public. It gives you that kind of free reign over what you're doing, how you want things to look, and you can build out concepts in your head a lot more. The most important thing is definitely do what you love. I mean, there's the people on the call that they all do different things. You have your makeover Mondays, your workout Wednesdays, all beneficial for certain designs, ideas, concepts, topics. I'm going to give a shout out, Eve, like the new stuff that you're bringing in terms of social good. I think that's fantastic. So it's hugely important to do what you love and keep working at it in terms of that.
Thanks so much for that segue, CJ, because our next person up is Eve. I consider Eve a very close friend. We've been I've been seeing a lot of her visits even before they're published, and it's a great honor for me to talk to her about her visualization. And I love what she visits about, because when she creates something from a perspective of having passion to best illustrate the data behind that and to make it in its most impactful form. And I love what she brings to the community, and also how important data visualization is for her, because of she understands the impact. Even though she is one person, a lot of people see what she presents, and it has a lot of impact on so many people. So it's my great honor to present Eve Thomas. As I was thinking when she was announced a Tableau Public Featured Author, it's about time. So please explain a little bit about your journey, Eve, and I'm just so excited to hear about it.
Thanks, Adam. Yeah, I've been using Tableau for a while. I think it's been about a year and a half, and I only started using it when I was trying to apply for the data school, which I'm sure a lot of people have heard of. And I did join as DS16, which seems like only yesterday, but now we're on DS21, so it's been a while. And I didn't really use it before that point, to be honest, but I very quickly jumped on the bandwagon with Makeover Monday. Was the main one that I started off with. And I think that's just a brilliant initiative for everyone to join in, actually, if you're just starting out, just because you get the same data set across the board. And it's so interesting seeing what each author does with that data. Like, some of the stuff that comes out of that is so different. And it's all just so impactful. And so especially when they do topics that I find that I'm passionate about anyway, I really enjoy the Makeover Monday. And more recently, I've been joining in with sort of IronViz and, sorry, not IronViz, IronViz. I actually meant to say IronQuest. Also, just I've done a couple of workout Wednesdays as well. But then recently, as you said, I've started doing my own stuff, which has been very much helped by data school, because we do the data prep as well, so I can get to involved with it too. So yeah, some of the recent stuff I've been doing has been more out of just my passion for those subjects, and also just fun topics that I enjoy as well. But yeah, it's been, I think recently particularly, I've just found that some of the stuff coming out of the community is just phenomenal. And I love just logging in every day and just seeing what everyone's created. And I feel like every week at the moment I'm being hit by another chart type I've not seen before. And that's brilliant, because each week I'm like, brilliant, that's what I'm going to do for my next makeover Monday. So then I can have a go and really try to expand my knowledge on that. And yeah, some of the stuff coming out of CJ, I'll give you a shout out back. Some of your stuff you've been doing at the moment, I think you did something polygons the other day when it comes to like sports injuries. And that was just, I didn't even realize you could do that in Tableau. So I'm learning a lot all the time. And yeah, just the community are fantastic. So Adam is amazing feedback. And if anyone is thinking of sort of trying out Tableau and they're nervous, like just message me directly, message anyone directly, and you're bound to get people being so helpful and so encouraging. And everyone's just so willing to give feedback, and that's what I love about this community. I think it's quite a rare thing. Everyone's just almost, you can guarantee that you'll be so welcomed, and I think that's something really special. Yeah, it's been a fun journey so far.
Awesome. And could you explain a little bit about your new initiative? Viz to Educate. Viz to Educate is an incredible new initiative that you just shared with Vinod, and it will be great to hear a little bit about that, what you're doing with that and how that's going so far.
Yeah, so we're really, really excited about Viz to Educate. It's a little bit slow at the moment, just because I've just had like a minor operation, which I'm just okay with now. So I'm hoping to release my Viz topic in the next couple of weeks. And we just did our first one today. I've not seen it yet. I've just been told it's up, so I'm really looking forward to jumping off this call to go and check that out. Yeah, this so our aim for that is to essentially create a free gallery for teachers across the globe to use with their students. And part of the reason we've done that is me and Vinod both have friends in the teaching community. My mum is a teacher. A lot of my friends happen to be teachers, and before I have made them visualizations to use in class, just by chance. And I think that's just because they happen to know that that's what I do. And Vinod was asked the same thing from some of his friends, and so we sort of came together and we were just chatting, and it just sort of came up in conversation. We thought, oh, actually, maybe this is something we can do. And I do have experience teaching. I used to teach English abroad for a while, and I did notice when I was teaching in Peru, the children in some of those schools were always short of textbooks. Textbooks are actually quite expensive, and they're quite hard, particularly for like schools that have less funding to get hold of. But something those kids all had was access to the internet. Like, it was so much cheaper to have internet than textbooks, and I just found that amazing. So that's why I got it. I thought that it would be just a really cool idea to give them access to a free platform where you could have these fantastic resources that you use in Tableau. It's perfect for that, because you have Tableau Public. And I just think it's, you can make Viz's kid friendly. So I've been experimenting recently. The Bigfoot Viz I did, I was aiming that at sort of a younger audience, and some of the conservation ones I've done recently were aimed at a younger audience as well. And the feedback I got from the kids that were using those was really positive. So I think me and Vinod just sort of came together, and we just had this idea, and we're really hoping it will make a difference. And once we get the gallery kind of filling up, we've got quite a few Vizes that have been submitted so far, and just ones that people already had within the community, and then we've got a few new ones coming through. We're hoping that before Christmas we might be able to get a few more Vizes in there, and then hopefully spread the word to teachers as well. So we're really hoping it will help out a lot of people. If anyone wants to get involved, please do. We'd love
Thank you so much, Eve. It's great to hear about this initiative, and it's just an awesome. So next up, we have Francisco. A couple months ago, he moved to a new country, was jobless, and he had no prospects except he loved DataViz. He reached out to me very early in his time with the community, and I loved his passion. I love what he brought to our community as far as wanting to develop a new Viz every week, push his talents as much as he could, and then ultimately work with somebody who's incredible, and his name is Samuel Parsons. So I'm very excited to hear your journey, as you did provide a bit of your journey with Sam with me a little bit earlier on Mentoring Meetup blog. So it was great to hear about that. So, but I also want to hear about this journey where you're now a Tableau Public featured author in a very short time because of your work and dedication, and that's exciting for me to hear.
Very much, Adam. I mean, yes, it's my life completely changed in the last maybe 6 months or something like that. Literally upside down, completely different. So I'm actually from Portugal, but I've been living in Houston for about a year more or less. I was working in Madrid for the last 5-6 years in digital marketing. So basically managing companies' social media presence, online presence. But what I started to realize the thing that I liked the most about my job was actually looking at spreadsheets and charts and creating reports and things like that. So I thought maybe this is actually the path I want to take with my career. Maybe and data analytics and data visualization is the path that I want to take in my career. But also I continue there, but then me and my wife, we had an opportunity to come over here to Houston through our job. And so I decided I had opportunity to take kind of a year off from work. So where I decided to actually try to study as much as I could of data analytics and data visualization. So I got myself enrolled at the University of Texas at Austin, starting with data analytics, machine learning, and things like that. But it completely clicked for me when I, by myself, got into Tableau. So I came across with Tableau with the platform, just a little bit by chance. I just saw it somewhere, and then I decided to take a course on Udemy, or Udemy, as Zach Bowders once mentioned. And so, and that was completely game changing for me. So, so I started to use the platform. I really enjoyed creating visualizations there and learning more and more. But I was feeling a little bit lonely. So I was doing my visualizations, but obviously I didn't know anyone in the area. I didn't know anyone that could help me, providing me feedback or new ideas or things like that. So I kind of went online and tried to find some people that were doing stuff out there. And that's where I came across with Makeover Mondays and the Data Fam community. And I kind of committed myself to try to put a viz out there every week with Makeover Mondays. So the first one was very scary to put it out there. And if you go to my profile, you see it is kind of very basic stuff. But I kept going and kept going. And at some point I was feeling that I was getting better, but I wasn't still at the stage that I kind of wanted to be. And I feel that I could get there, but I was not getting it. So that's where you, I think, was the time where you launched the mentoring program. And I just enrolled myself. And we spoke a little bit about it and what I wanted, and then we put us together with me and Sam together. And for me, that was kind of another click. I mean, working with Sam was kind of a game changer again for me. I think he unlocked in me skills that I didn't know that I have, and I think he built up a lot of confidence in me. So I felt much more confident on putting stuff out there. He helped me a lot with design things, but also tips and tricks with Tableau and things like that. And from there, I think I felt that there was kind of a very strong evolution on my work, and also kind of my presence also online in the communities. People started to kind of appreciate more my work and giving me different sorts of feedback, and that was completely life changing. And then the kind of the third moment in this journey was when Simon Beaumont from the community as well. He reached out because he realized I was looking for a job. So this was about a month ago, or two months ago, more or less. So he reached out and he asked me if I was interested in a job. I said yes, of course, and 100% Tableau, yes, of course. So so basically, yeah, I got a job at JLL. I'm really happy there, and I keep telling this to people, like, I mean, if like it's possible to get a job through social media, it's possible to get a job through your work, through your, through practice. So my advice to everyone that's starting to get into this world, data visualization, is that put your work out there. Don't be afraid. The community is great. They provide a lot of feedback. And I think with resilience and practice, you end up getting better. and people will kind of pay attention to you, and I think I'm a living proof that you can get a job through hard work and putting your work out there. So that's my advice for anyone that's is kind of starting off within this world.
Thank you so much, Francisco, and you did cover my follow-up question, so that's done. So it's just great to hear about your journey, because I know you inspired so many people, and it's great to see what you're doing, because you're also inspiring me, because you could see where people start and how it was kind of hopeless in the beginning. But then you were able to, through your dedication and work, find something and land a dream job, basically a JLL. It doesn't get much better than that. So it's just great in a couple months of hard work and dedication and commitment to the community and the family, what you're able to achieve. So it's great to see that.
Thank you, Adam.
So thank you. So next up we have James Gouda. He is a participant in Makeover Monday, and also he's a tug leader of a public sector tug. So it's exciting to have another public sector employee. If you don't know, I am one too. So it's great to see our representation out there in Tableau Public and in our community, because we don't see a lot of that. It's mostly private sector or boutique firms that are part of the community. So it's great to see government employees like us be part of it and have the ability to do that and have the freedom to do that as well. So I'd love to hear a little bit about your journey, James. And yeah, please share.
Lovely, thank you, Adam. And yeah, it's nice to be on the same platform with all of these, all of the other featured authors, some of whom I know and some I haven't met before. So yeah, it's great to meet you all. So yeah, as Adam said, so I'm James Goodall. I work for Surrey County Council in a Data Analytics Centre of Excellence. So I work in IT, and I'm fully prepared for all the hate mail I'm about to get because of that. But we try and operate a slightly different model to kind of your traditional IT house, in that we're a back office development team, but we also kind of get boots on the ground and kind of work closely with all of our users and try and build up the internal data community there. So kind of going back to where I started using Tableau around about 2017, I think. And so that was in my previous life. I was still working for Surrey County Council, but I was working in adult social care. So for those that aren't familiar, so it's great to have some other public sector representation on here. But in the UK, so public sector local authorities are responsible for quite a large number of local services. So, you know, that can be things like public health, also adult social care, children's social care, highways, and lots of other things. And so it was in one of those services where I started in adult social care, looking at financial assessments, systems specialist work, and doing some performance reporting. And that was kind of where I got my introduction into Tableau, building out those performance dashboards for the service. And then I was lucky enough to apply for and be successful in getting my current job, which is kind of really about developing that self-service analytics community within Surrey. So through things like Tableau, through data visualization, data preparation tools, and also developing the internal data community. And so even though I started this job in around late 2018, so a couple of years ago now, and I was working on building that internal community, I wasn't really participating in the wider Tableau community via social media or other platforms. So I kind of thought there was a little bit of a disconnect there. So I started getting involved in Makeover Monday around about early 2019 sometime, as kind of similar reasons as well to what CJ was alluding to earlier, in terms of the data that you work with on a day-to-day basis is pretty boring. Like, and I mean, particularly in public sector, I don't know whether you find this, Adam, but it can be very dry data sets. And so having that opportunity to kind of widen your skills, see what other people are doing, push your work out there, get feedback on what you're doing, kind of really helped take off my Tableau skills from that point of view. Up till then, I was kind of doing, you know, like bar charts, line charts, kind of your run-of-the-mill kind of stuff. But being able to see what other people were capable of producing and then have a go at it, and then being able to iterate on that as part of that community, I was able to then start bringing those aspects into some of the visualizations I was producing for people within my organisation. So where people might not have been overly keen on the idea of of Sankeys or what some more non-traditional chart types, kind of being able to understand and appreciate them and deliver them in a way that kind of made sense to people, really helped our organisation progress in their maturity of using Tableau. And I don't think we would have got there without being able to use the tools like Tableau Public and the community that are out there. And yeah, so that's my journey, really. As Adam said, I do run with Mike Henry. He's a guy who lives up in the north of England. I run a UK public sector Tableau user group. We've had a few sessions. We've recently had one recently, and so yeah, that's really been great to kind of build out those connections across other public sector organisations. As Adam said, it was a gap that really needed to be filled, because almost exclusively what you find in the Tableau community is private companies, it's banks, it's people who their work doesn't necessarily resonate with some of the very niche aspects of public sector life. And so kind of being able to build out that community, we were hoping to try and at least make connections with other people who might have been through the same pains that we have.
Thank you so much, James. And I can identify with having to build a lot of line charts and bar charts and crosstabs for work. Usually we're building toward requirements and we're not given the flexibility to be creative and or fun with our data visualizations. So when you're participating in a public, in a community, you're not only have the opportunity to do so, you're encouraged to do a little bit more than what you normally would do at work. So you're not building to requirements and you're challenging yourself in a completely new way. So I completely appreciate that. So thank you so much, James. It was great to hear about your journey.
Thank you.
So next up, we have Laura Sanford. You may know her from the #Alphabet project. She is very active in the community each month. I believe it's a monthly project that you submit a data visualization that's very creative and awesome to see. I always look forward to what you share each month or every other week or whatever it is when it pops up, a new visualization of the Alphabet project. And you, there's, I believe it's Adam Green that works with you on that one. So it's fun to see what both of you bring, because it's just so incredible to see the fun initiative that's completely off the rails a little bit, but comes back to something that's so much fun and informative sometimes. So you don't know what you're going to get. You may get something silly, or you may get something very impactful in a passion project with that. So please explain a little bit about your journey and your work with the community.
Hi, everyone. Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head with that one, Adam. We honestly don't know what we're going to produce either. So sometimes it is incredibly silly. Sometimes it's incredibly rushed. Sometimes it is quite thought-provoking. And sometimes, we just aim to learn a new skill. And it may or may not be best practice. That's not the point of it. So going back, I started using Tableau in 2016. So I was one of the first people in my company to actually get a license. That company is Inmarsat. I'm still with them now. We're a satellite telecommunications company. So we aim to connect people across the world where they wouldn't have connectivity otherwise. So that can be up in the sky, obviously not so much at the moment with COVID. It can be at sea, it can be in remote parts of various countries across the world as well. The aim of Inmarsat is to save and protect lives. And that is something that really struck me when I started there. And that is the main reason that I'm still with them, because I totally buy into what we do. I'm a sucker for that. But when we introduced Tableau back in 2016, as I said, I was one of the first people to get a license. And the very first viz that I did kind of made a bit of a name for myself at Inmarsat. I was aiming to show where we've got contract breach. So we had 2 SIM cards that were intended for use on the same boat. And I managed to work out that that wasn't always the case, but I couldn't really explain it to our account managers. So I was sending them Excel spreadsheets that had GPS coordinates in. That didn't really make any sense to anyone. So as soon as I got a Tableau license, I threw it into Tableau, built a map that showed these two GPS positions on opposite sides of the world at the same time, and was able to explain to them, look, this is a contract breach. Can you go back to the customer and sort it out? And actually, we were able to recover a 6-figure sum just from that one exercise. And it paid for 3 years of Tableau. It was amazing. So as you can imagine, my CFO was pretty happy with that. Since then, I have taken on one of the co-leader positions with the London Tableau user group, despite having not stepped foot in London for 8 months now, thanks to COVID. But we will be hosting another session soon, so I hope you can all join us for that. Please keep an eye out on Twitter. And as Adam mentioned, I'm running the Alphabet project with Adam Green. So this is an idea that I shared with Lorna Brown over coffee a couple of years ago, actually. And it was one of those moments that really made me feel incredibly smart, but incredibly clever at the same time. Because I sat there and went, I need a project. I need something that's going to keep me busy all year. Because I've done Makeover Monday, I've done Workout Wednesday, and it's very easy to drop off the radar and kind of, you know, fizzle out. But I needed something that would keep me going, and I needed the accountability. And then I suddenly thought, if I want to viz every week, that's 52 vizzes. That's a lot. Maybe if I just viz every other week, that's only 26. I can probably do that. And then I thought, 26 letters in the alphabet. And it all kind of went from there. She knew Adam from work, and he was also looking for a project that would keep him accountable and keep him busy and keep learning new techniques. So she put us in touch, and the Alphabet project was born. We've vizzed everything from Martin Luther King, which was K for King, through to U is for Unicorns, which I quite enjoyed. I was expecting more pink and glitter from both of us, but it was a good viz anyway. And every week, one of us will release a new viz on the same topic. So for each letter, we will come up with a topic. Last fortnight, Adam released his V is for Victoria, which was looking at pub names in the UK. And I followed up with V is Victoria, which was a Victoria sponge recipe. So you can see we take very different approaches to each letter, but it's something that ties it all together. And as you said, we just have fun with it. That's the main aim.
Thank you so much, Laura. We have 2 more guests to go in 10 minutes. So it was great to hear your story. And I love that I should have been able to do the math one every 2 weeks because there are 26 letters in the alphabet. So thank you for being nice enough to correct me casually. But anyways, next up, we have Luther Flagstad. He just made a big name for himself with the community in a very short period of time. He has created a bunch of data visualizations. He asks great questions. He's very passionate about not only data visualization, but the data behind it. And he has a blog. And he's done that in a very short period of time. And I'm excited that he's part of this Tableau Public Featured Author group myself. So please explain a bit about your journey, Luther.
Thank you for that introduction. And it's just, yeah, amazing to be here. You know, I've kind of been on the edges of the Tableau community for a couple of years and not really participating. So it's crazy to see, you know, people that I've watched and followed. I mean, Pratik, Laura, Eve, like people that have been doing this much longer than I have, and just been inspired and crazy to be a part of it. So it's awesome to be here. My background is not IT, technology. It's not design. I have done a few different things throughout my career. I was in the Peace Corps, and came back, and then went to grad school for development work. And while I was in grad school, this was 2016 to 2018, we had to do a project for one of the classes that used Tableau. It was just putting together some maps. We're just trying to visualize an index that we had created for tracking a measure of poverty. And so that was my very first introduction. And when I saw Tableau, it was like, this is pivot tables on steroids. Like, it was just, having used Excel a little bit, it was just like, this is so crazy what you can do. And watched several training videos, and then off the back of that, somehow was able to convince an employer that I knew how to use Tableau, and was hired by Catholic Charities, Brooklyn and Queens here in New York City, to work as part of the evaluation team. So it was actually just one other person who was the evaluation manager, and then myself was hired as the evaluation data analyst. And I was the only person in the organization. I was the only business analyst in the organization, the only person that knew even kind of the first thing about how to get started in Tableau. So Google became my friend very quickly, being able to start to use the Tableau community forums. And really throughout 2019, made use of the forums a lot to just answer questions, and of course the manual itself, and figure out how to put together reports, and a couple of little dashboards and that kind of thing for some of the data, the evaluation data that we had at our organization. And then it was, I was just thinking about this the other day, but it was ironically when Tableau was purchased by Salesforce, all of the links to the community forum broke. I don't know if anybody else ran into that, but I would Google, and like, this is how I got all my questions answered. All of a sudden it was gone. So I had to like spread out to other blogs. And that was when in early 2020, then, that I found some of these other initiatives that people are doing, like the Makeover Monday, started following. I've got bookmarked, I don't know, 100 plus blogs of different people in the community. So I've learned a lot from just way too many people to mention. But I know that moment when it clicked was when I saw the Flairledge's Beyond Show Me, when I realized that Tableau was just a Cartesian plane, just like a blank, literally a blank canvas. And that was when Tableau became kind of a creative outlet for me. So in March, then finally jumped on Twitter and really picked up what were the different things that you could start to do. And having a little bit of foundation, that's when it allowed me to start to say, okay, now I have this idea, how can I make it happen? Rather than saying what's the skill set that I have, and then being bound by what I could create off of that, to say, okay, what's my idea, and then how do I make that happen? Either pulling in resources from around the internet, or just trial and error. I do a lot of keyboard mashing until something works out. So that's been my journey so far, and hope to keep it up. And thanks again for having me here.
Thank you, Luther. It's just fun to see your activity in the community, from being a lurker to being active enough to be honored to be part of this amazing cohort. So I'm happy for you, and I'm excited about what you have in store for the future, especially with the more passion projects that you get behind. It'll be fun to see what you do. So finally, last but certainly not least, we have Pratik. He's been very active in the community. He's also active in a variety of different projects. He kind of contributes to everything. So it'll be fun to hear about his journey, as he's been working a ton with Tableau for a while now. So please share your story, Pratik, and I'm excited to hear about it.
Hey, thank you so much, Adam, for kind introduction. And also congratulations one more time for Michael W. Christiani Community Leadership Award. Yeah, all of us probably may have congratulated you over the Twitter for last few weeks, but yeah. Myself, Pratik Chaudhary, and I've been acting with the Tableau almost 4 years now. Yeah. And it took 4 years to get to the featured author. Yeah, even I was not aiming for that, but yeah, it took 4 years actually. I have very funny story. So when I started, I had no connection with the data science basically because I have background in pharmacy. So I'm a registered pharmacy where I was working in the pharmacy and I was seeing the potential of data because my main focus was on cost estimation and improving the making care efficient as well as affordable. So I was like, how can I do that? So in that outlet of searching for that answer, I ended up being in a medical informatics school where I was learning about the data science, how data science can improve healthcare in terms of whether it is a decision making or making care effective. So I ended up getting in a medical informatics school with the UT. Same, I didn't know that Francisco went with the UT as well because I know that he is in Houston, but I did not know that he is a fellow Longhorn. So I was like, go Longhorns. So, yeah. So I had like a few. So one of my professors actually introduced me to the Tableau when I was in a school, and I quickly hooked up to it.
What I just want to share to close with is that every time that Tableau Public shares their cohort for Tableau Public featured authors, I'm so impressed with who they select and what they represent, and it's no different here. When I saw this cohort be announced, I was so happy to be bumped for these people because they have inspired me a great deal. I know they will continue to inspire people as they continue their journey. So it's just so good to hear what they had to present today, because I know it's going to be impactful for a lot of people going forward. And I'm excited to see what comes next as far as the next Tableau Public featured author. But please follow these people. Just go to Tableau, go to authors, and just follow them and see what they have in store, because you'll be blown away if you haven't already. Thank you so much.